Chapter 4. If we want to be more objective about outcomes, we need to change our habits. Phil Ivey is one of the best poker players in the world. He's admired by his peers and has been incredibly successful in every type of poker. What is the biggest reason for this? Phil Ivey has good habits. Habits work in neurological loops that have three parts: cue, routine, and reward. Charles Duhigg, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter, points out in his book The Power of Habit, the key to changing a habit is to work with the structure, leaving the cue and reward alone but changing the routine. Let's say you want to minimize your self-serving bias in poker, but your habit is to win a hand, cue attributed to your skill, routine, and feed your positive image of yourself, reward. You might try attributing each win to a combination of luck and skill in order to change the habit. You might analyze the key points of success. But how do you then get that boost to your self-image? Instead of feeling good about being a winning poker player, you can feel good about being a player who's good at identifying your mistakes, accurately fielding your outcomes, learning and making decisions. That's where Phil Ivey excels. His poker habits are built around truth-seeking and accurate outcome fielding rather than self-serving bias. The author mentions a 2004 poker tournament in which Ivey mopped the floor with his competitors, then spent a celebratory dinner afterward picking apart his play and seeking opinions about what he might have done better. Unfortunately, most of us don't have habits as good as Phil Ivey's, but that doesn't mean we can't work with what we've got. We can grasp it. One way we can improve the way we field outcomes is to think about them in terms of, you guessed it, bets. Let's say we got into a car accident on an icy stretch of road. It might be that we were unlucky, that's all. But would that explanation satisfy you if you had to bet on it? Chances are, you'd start to consider other explanations, just to be sure. Maybe you were driving too fast, or maybe you should have pumped your brakes differently. Once the stakes are raised, we start to look into the causes a little more seriously, to help us move beyond self-serving bias and become more objective. As a fringe benefit, this exploration also makes us look at things with a little more perspective. We start to see explicitly that outcomes are a mixture of luck and skill. Despite our hardwired tendencies, this forces us to be a little more compassionate when evaluating the other people's and our own outcomes.